Welcome, Aries. If you're hearing these words right now, maybe it's because your heart can already feel something shifting deep inside. Maybe someone is slipping away. Maybe a feeling is fading. Or maybe your soul is quietly whispering it's time. Sometimes the universe doesn't wake us gently. It chooses the storm to teach us how to stand tall. It chooses the breaking to remind us that beneath it all there's still a flame that never dies. Stay with me, Aries, because perhaps in the very heart of this storm, you'll finally discover who you truly are. The sky of the Aries soul is changing color. Everything on the surface seems normal, but deep inside, a quiet storm is forming. Not the kind that shakes the world outside, but the storm of destiny itself, where everything old, false, and misaligned is being swept away, making room for something purer, something more real. Aries has always been the pioneer, the flame that lights the way through the dark. You fight, you love, you live with every spark in your heart, without hesitation, without restraint. But this time the universe doesn't want you to fight. It wants you to awaken. A breakup is approaching, fierce, sudden, like a wind tearing through dry woods. It will collapse everything you once thought was unshakable. Not to punish you, but to return you to your true self, the one hidden behind all the roles you played in love, behind your longing to be seen, to be needed. You may not notice it right away. It begins quietly, a short message, a distant gaze, a silence that stretches too long between two souls who once talked until dawn. Your spirit feels it before your mind understands, like an invisible wind slowly pulling the warmth out of something that's about to leave. And in that moment, you try to hold on, with logic, with memories, with faith that maybe it can still be saved. But the universe has its own way of saying, that's enough. The truth is, relationships don't end because love disappears. They end when that love no longer serves the growth of both souls. When you've learned everything you were meant to learn, the path naturally divides, no matter how tightly you cling. The universe doesn't take this person away to make you suffer. It takes them away to free the energy trapped inside your heart. The energy you've spent trying to prove that you are worthy of love. Sometimes love doesn't die, Aries. It just changes shape, becoming a lesson, becoming the flame that lights the road ahead. There will be nights when you ask, why do I have to go through this? Why, after giving everything, is the result still loss? But you don't realize that within those very questions, the first light of awakening has already begun to flicker. When a relationship falls apart, it's not just your heart that breaks. Your beliefs, your identity, your proud self-image all begin to tremble. You'll look into the mirror and see someone different. The same eyes, but deeper now, quieter, and perhaps more real. Because sometimes we only see ourselves clearly when everything around us has fallen away. This is not the end, Aries. It's the threshold of a new journey, one where you no longer need to prove your strength, nor hide your softness to survive. This journey will teach you that true love doesn't come to possess. It comes to liberate. It doesn't come to control, it comes to illuminate. And when you begin to understand that, you'll see that every storm has its reason. It comes to clear the sky, to help your inner fire burn in the right direction. Because destiny never extinguishes the flame within Aries. It only makes it burn brighter, more authentic, more sacred. Now, as the fire in your heart still burns but trembles against the wind, pause. Breathe. Feel how your strength is changing shape. Don't fear the chaos surrounding you, for inside this very storm, a great lesson is rising, the lesson of surrender, of allowing life to move as it was always meant to. Because sometimes it's only when you let go of the wheel that you realize you're being carried by something far greater, the flow of destiny itself. And that, Aries, is where the next chapter begins, where everything you once tried to control begins to dissolve, to make space for something far deeper. Everything begins with silence, not the gentle kind that exists between two people who understand each other, but the heavy silence that thickens the air until you can hear your own heartbeat pounding in your chest. Aries, you've always believed that with enough courage, enough determination, you could keep everything within reach. But this time, no matter how hard you try, every effort slips away, like sand falling through your fingers. They are no longer there the way they used to be. Conversations fade into empty pauses. Messages are still sent, but the replies come slower, colder. You can feel something collapsing, even if you can't name it, and with every breath you realize you're losing control. The very thing you once believed was your greatest strength. Aries, you are the warrior of the zodiac, the one who never fears a challenge, who believes that sheer will can break down any wall. But destiny isn't always a battle to win or lose. Sometimes, a lesson, a sacred teaching that some things are meant to be loved, but never held. Losing control shakes you. It takes away the familiar ground beneath your feet, leaving you drifting in questions. Why is this happening to me? What did I do wrong? But if you listen carefully, beneath the cracking sound of what's breaking, there's another rhythm, a quiet order within the chaos. It's the universe whispering. It's time to stop steering your ship against the current. Letting go is not failure. It is the bravest act a soul like yours can do. Because only when you stop trying to force life into your design can you witness the beauty of its natural flow. The way it carries you exactly where you need to be, even if it's not where you want it to go. You'll find yourself in quieter days. No more meticulous plans. No more racing toward what must be achieved. Just soft mornings where sunlight filters through the curtain, and you realize you don't have to do anything. Life is still moving, steady and graceful without your control. In that silence, details begin to glow again. A warm cup of coffee in your hands, an old song you used to love, a wildflower growing by the roadside in the morning fog. And suddenly you understand, you don't have to hold on to live fully. Life keeps flowing, even when you're still. The universe doesn't always bring what we want, but it always brings what we need to grow. This loss didn't come to break you, Aries. It came to soften you, to remind that even the strongest hearts need to be held sometimes. When you stop fighting for what can't be kept, you begin to hear a gentler voice within your soul, one that says, trust. Trust that even when the winds push against you, you'll find your direction again. Trust that even when everything leaves, you still have yourself, the one who can rise from any ruin. Because losing control is sometimes how the universe helps you find your true center, that still point inside you that nothing outside can shake. As the light within you softens, you'll notice something strange yet beautiful, a new kind of calm forming inside the chaos. It's as if the storm has swept the dust away, revealing a clear, sacred space. In that space, you hear your own breath, the slow rhythm of your heart. And you know you're still here. You still have the capacity to love, even when everything has changed. That's the quiet turning point, when your soul, after all the resistance, begins to open. From the ashes of control, something new begins to grow, not mere recovery, but rebirth. A version of you that no longer lives to prove, but to experience, no longer loves to hold, but to understand. And then very softly a question rises in your heart. If I am no longer the one in control, then who am I? That question becomes the doorway to a deeper journey, the journey of rediscovering who you truly are, after everything that once defined you has been carried away by the storm of fate. In the darkness after the storm, Aries stands still. All the noise is gone. Only the sound of your own breath echoes in the quiet room. Memories drift by like old film reels. The times you laughed too loudly to hide your exhaustion. The moments you acted strong so no one could see the softness behind your eyes. All those layers were once your armor. And now they're falling away piece by piece, quietly, inevitably. The breakup didn't just take someone out of your life. It took away the image of you that you once believed was real, the one who always had control, who always knew how to shine, who was always loved and admired. When there's no one left to mirror that image, you suddenly don't know who you are anymore. And it's in that silence that your soul begins to speak. Aries, this isn't loss. This is homecoming, because you're facing something most people never dare to face, yourself, when there's no one else to play a part with. You might cry without knowing why. You might sit up late at night staring at the empty space where they used to be, whispering, "What's left of me?" when there's no one left to protect. But right there in that ache, something sacred begins to bloom, truth. the truth of who you are, the truth of a soul that has spent too long living for others, forgetting that it too deserves love not because it's perfect, but simply because it exists. The pain you feel now isn't only from separation. It's the pain of shedding identity. Everything you thought defined you, the titles, the roles, the praise, the love, now feels foreign. You've become a shattered mirror, each fragment reflecting a different part of your truth. And when the light hits, you finally see it. Maybe all these years you haven't truly lived. You've only been performing the version of yourself the world wanted to see. The strong one, the brave one, the one who always knows the way, but who will teach you how to be fragile without shame, who will teach you how to cry without losing dignity. Maybe only you, the you that's breaking open right now, are brave enough to learn. Aries, when the armor falls, you'll feel exposed, unguarded, uncertain. But don't be afraid, because this is where your soul begins to breathe again after years of silence. You're learning how to live without proving, how to love without fighting, and in that simplicity you find freedom. The world outside might not notice the shift, but inside you something profound is moving. The old questions, am I enough? Am I lovable? Start to fade, and in their place comes a gentler voice, soft as wind. I am, and that's enough. In moments of solitude, you might find yourself smiling for no reason, not because happiness has returned, but because you no longer need it to come from outside. Joy no longer depends on someone's loving gaze, but on your own tender way of seeing yourself. This path isn't easy. It's like walking across a bridge made of light, each step stripping away another layer of what you once were. But halfway across, you realize you're not afraid anymore. Because when there's nothing left to lose, you become untouchable. In that quiet understanding, Aries begins to see loss is not the enemy, it's the teacher. Every time life takes something away, it's only clearing space for what truly belongs to you. And from the ashes of the old self, a small spark flickers to life, fragile but unwavering. It's the sacred flame of rebirth. That flame hasn't burst into fire yet, but you can feel it waiting deep within your chest, warm and alive. It's no longer the flame of ambition or pride, but of awareness and acceptance. And as you close your eyes, you can sense a new strength awakening, quiet, steady, eternal. Like the first sunlight after a long night, that light touches your heart, gentle, golden, unfamiliar. It promises nothing, but whispers that the journey continues. Because after the identity has fallen apart, what remains is the flame preparing to rise, to lead you deeper into the sacred transformation of your soul. The fire still burns within you, Aries. But this time, it's not the fire of anger, not the kind that rises when someone hurts you. This flame runs deeper, quieter, a sacred energy only souls who have walked through ruin can understand. It isn't here to destroy you, it's here to forge you. In the darkness of pain, there are nights when you feel you cannot endure another second. The room is silent. The clock ticks too slowly. Your heartbeat pounds so loud it feels like it might break you from the inside. But in that moment, if you listen closely, you'll notice something changing. Something stirring deep within, as if a new life is forming in the ashes of who you used to be. Aries, not everyone is chosen to walk through the fire. Only those strong enough to live honestly, to love deeply, and to lose bravely are given this chance. Because fire only comes to those capable of rebirth. It burns away what is false, all that you once clung to for safety, so it can return you to your original essence, pure, honest, fearless. Every time it feels like your world is falling apart, the universe is quietly rebuilding you. It doesn't break you to destroy, it breaks you to realign you, to reshape you into the form your soul was always meant to carry. You may not see it yet, but each tear that falls washes away old energy. Each sigh releases a fragment of the ego. This process makes no noise. Like metal forged in flame, you must endure the heat, so that light can soak into every fiber of your being. There will be moments you feel lost, uncertain of where you're going, but in that uncertainty, a new kind of faith begins to rise. Faith in yourself. Aries, you are the fire. You never needed anyone to ignite you, the flame has always been in your heart. That breakup, that loneliness, or simply the universe's way of reminding you, like a candle blown out in the storm, only to be reignited by the first light of the sun. And then, one morning, you'll wake to find the pain no longer heavy. What once made you ache now fills you with quiet gratitude. You'll know that without the fire, you might have stayed forever in the safe walls of comfort, unchallenged, untouched, but cold. Now, even if your hands still bear the marks of the burn, you've learned how to hold your own flame without letting it consume you. True transformation doesn't arrive in a grand moment. It comes softly, when you smile at yourself for the first time in a while, when peace finds you in solitude, when you stop needing to explain and simply allow life to be. That's when you know you didn't just survive the storm, you transcended it, not with your feet, but with a soul that has been refined. The world will look different now. The sounds are gentler, the colors warmer, and the smallest things feel sacred again. A sunset, a hello, an old song, each one carrying the universe's whisper. You made it through, and when you look back, you'll see it clearly. The same fire that once caused your suffering was the very light that guided your path. Without fire, there is no illumination. Without loss, there is no understanding. Without endings, there can never be beginnings. Now you are no longer who you were. You have walked through the ashes with open eyes and a heart that knows compassion. You no longer burn from anger, you burn from purpose, from empathy, from the desire to live in harmony with your soul. And from that light, a new strength begins to rise, quiet, steady, unshakable, like a small ember glowing into dawn. Your reborn energy spreads through the horizon, not loud, not fierce, just there, soft as breath, yet powerful enough to illuminate. An entire sky of destiny opening before you, after all the loss and the breaking. Your world, Aries, has grown strangely quiet. No more echoes of arguments, no more messages waiting for a reply, no more heartbeat racing at the sight of someone's name. Only you and silence. A deep silence no longer frightening, but warm, gentle, like the arms of the universe holding you close. In that stillness, you begin to hear again the voice within you, the one that's been drowned out by expectations, fears, and the endless hunger for approval. For the first time in a long time, you're not trying to prove anything. You're not trying to become someone in order to be loved again. You simply are. And in that simple being, a quiet power begins to rise, a strength that doesn't come from outside, but from the very center of your soul. This strength isn't loud or blazing. It's like sunlight after the rain, soft, steady, yet strong enough to warm even the coldest ground. You realize that true power isn't in having someone beside you, but in standing tall when everyone has walked away. Aries, you once handed your light to others, hoping they would reflect it back. But now you see that light was never theirs to give. It was always yours. And the moment you stop seeking validation, you begin to shine brighter than ever before. One morning you wake up and feel no emptiness. You no longer think of the past with pain, but with gratitude. Grateful for the one who left, because their absence became your awakening. Grateful for what ended, because it allowed you to return home to yourself. You finally understand no one was ever meant to complete you. You were already whole. From then on, life rebuilds itself quietly. A cup of coffee in the morning, an old song you once forgot, a half-finished book waiting on the shelf. Each small act becomes a ritual, a way of reconnecting with life, with your own rhythm. And strangely enough, when you stop chasing, life starts running toward you. Work begins to open new doors, ideas return, joy flows back into the ordinary moments. Your creativity rises again, not from ambition, but from love for simply being alive. You no longer need to be seen, because your light now shines so naturally that it cannot be ignored. The world begins to reflect your new frequency. Better people, truer connections, and opportunities that feel aligned appear, as if they've been waiting for you all along. And you realize when you heal, everything around you transforms with you. No longer I need to be chosen, but I choose myself. No longer I must be strong, but I am at peace. That's the difference between living to be loved and living to love yourself. You feel lighter now, no longer forcing yourself to be the best version for someone else, but becoming the truest version for your own soul. And in that truth, you find the freedom you've been searching for all along. Aries, the moment you stop asking, "Does anyone see me?" the entire universe turns its gaze toward you. The moment you stop waiting for someone to validate your worth, life itself begins to open doors to the radiant light that was always yours. This power is not born of victory, it's the gift that comes after surrender, a sacred authority that grows from peace. Nothing to prove, no one to persuade, only a steady heart, quietly certain of who it is. And then in the soft breeze of a new dawn, you'll sense something different, a signal delicate yet strong, as if the universe is responding to your renewed energy. Doors begin to open. New souls step in. Opportunities appear effortlessly, naturally, because once you reclaim your light, the universe always answers. And in that sacred meeting point, between your reborn strength and the cosmic harmony that surrounds you, a new chapter begins to unfold, where the brave are finally rewarded by the hands of destiny itself. There's something strange that happens after every great storm. When everything seems lost, the sky suddenly becomes clearer than ever. Aries, you've walked through the fire. You've bled. You've let your ego melt in the heat of heartbreak. And right there, the universe has been watching every step you took to rise again. No one else may have seen it, but every tear you shed in silence was recorded. Every time you chose forgiveness over resentment, kindness over bitterness, and life over surrender, it was all written into your energy like seeds of light. There are silent laws the universe always follows. One of them says, souls who are brave enough to endure are always rewarded, not with wealth or fame, but with something far greater: peace, genuine connection, and crystal clarity of mind. You begin to notice the change. No more draining relationships. No more opportunities that make you question your worth. Instead, new faces, new moments, new doors appear, quietly but perfectly aligned. And then you realize you never had to chase anything. You only had to become the frequency of what you desire. When you love truthfully, love finds you. When you live honestly, honesty surrounds you. When you trust, faith builds the bridge. This is the oldest law of the cosmos, like attracts like. Aries, you've learned that not every loss is a tragedy. Some losses are answered prayers in disguise. The person who left didn't go because you weren't enough, but because their soul no longer matched your vibration. When you rise higher in light, anything no longer resonating with your energy will drift away. It's not punishment, it's the universe clearing your path. And now, free from the fear of abandonment, you begin to attract from a different energy, the energy of wholeness. No one comes to fill a void anymore, they come to share the light. No one loves you because they need you, but because they honor you. And life starts sending quiet miracles, a new partnership that just feels right, an old friend returning with a softer heart, an opportunity that once passed by reappearing at the perfect time. When your heart is at peace, the outer world rearranges itself naturally. No forcing, no striving. You begin to understand what divine timing really means, the sacred moment when everything flows effortlessly, because you've stopped holding on too tight. What's truly meant for you will always find its way back, not sooner, not later, but precisely when your soul is ready. Aries, you are no longer the one searching for love. You are love itself, not the fragile kind, but a love that's mature, that respects, that gives, that lets go with grace. You no longer need someone to fill your emptiness, because you've learned to sit within it and turn it into light. The world around you changes because you have changed. The calm on your face, the glow in your eyes, the way you smile when no one's watching, it all radiates an energy that others can feel. You don't need to say a word. Your very presence whispers the truth. Every soul can rise again, even from the ruins of its own loss. And then, one ordinary morning, as sunlight falls gently across your pillow, you'll understand the deepest truth of all. No one can take away what's meant for you. Love, opportunity, peace. They will all return in perfect time when you are brave enough to stop chasing, stop forcing, and start living in alignment with who you truly are. Now you stand at a new crossroads. No more rush, no more expectations. Only quiet faith that you are being guided by an invisible hand, gentle yet unshakable. The universe never owes anyone anything, Aries. It only waits for you to be ready to receive. And when you finally smile at your own life, the universe will smile back in the form of a brand new beginning where freedom and light are waiting, just for you. Dawn returns, gentle and golden, as if the universe itself has wiped away the last of your tears. No more heaviness in your chest. No shadow of someone's name lingering in your breath. You open your eyes, feel the light pouring through the window, and realize something has changed. The anger is gone, the fear has dissolved, and in your heart only one thing remains: gratitude. Gratitude for the one who left, for teaching you the sacred art of letting go. Gratitude for the pain, for it taught you how to love yourself more deeply than ever before. And gratitude for the universe, for using that storm to guide you back to the true path of your soul. Aries, this breakup didn't destroy you, it liberated you. Freedom doesn't come from forgetting someone, it comes from remembering yourself. Freedom is the moment you can smile at your past and no longer feel pain, only compassion. It's when you understand that everything, no matter how hard it was, served a higher purpose to bring you home to your divine essence. Now you no longer need anyone to define your worth. You no longer crave praise, nor fear judgment, because you know you are not what others see, but the light you feel when you look within. And that light, quiet, steady, radiant, is proof that you have passed the soul's great initiation. You step outside, and the sky seems bluer, the birdsong clearer, and even the smallest things around you feel precious. Life hasn't changed, it still flows, still turns, but you have changed in the way you experience it. Each breath, each heartbeat, carries a new serenity, as if you've been born again, no longer guarded, no longer heavy, only pure, present, alive. When you begin to accept everything as it is, you understand something profound. Nothing is ever truly lost, only transformed. The one who left didn't disappear, they became part of your growth. The dreams that fell apart didn't die, they're simply reshaping themselves into something larger, something aligned with the vibration you now carry. This is the freedom your soul has always sought, freedom from the past, from expectation, from fear. You are no longer led by what's gone, but by the light of what's coming. Aries, you now stand at the threshold of a new life, a life with no resentment, only gratitude. You no longer ask why. You simply whisper, thank you. Thank you for life, for love, for the fall and the rising, for finding your way back to yourself whole, strong, and free. This freedom isn't loud. It arrives softly like breath, yet it trembles through the entire universe within you. You understand now, the goodbye that once broke you has become the breath that brought you back to life. And when you breathe in peace, everything naturally returns to harmony. No more resistance, no more fear, only pure love flowing through your heart. So whisper with me, Aries, as a vow to your own soul, I am free, I am whole, I am ready for my new destiny. And as you speak it, I believe the universe smiles, because finally you understand, no ending is ever truly an ending. It's simply another beginning, gentler, brighter, and filled with compassion. Thank you, Aries, for walking this journey of healing with such courage and faith. Thank you for daring to face your pain, to weep, and to rise again by your own light. May you always remember, no ending can ever extinguish the sacred fire within you. May your heart remain open, your spirit unshakable, and your path forever guided by the light of peace. From my heart to yours, may you find serenity, clarity, and rebirth in the love that was always yours.